right, ladies and gentlemen, my clock says 6 p.m. Seeing that it is the hour of 6 p.m. on Monday, March 15th, 2021, I will call to order the Planning Commission of the City of Ceres. Notice that this meeting will be held in accordance with Executive Order N29-20 issued by California Governor Gavin Newsom on March 17th, 2020. The Ralph M. Brown Act, California Government Code Section 54950 et sec, and the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act. This meeting will not be physically open to the public. All members of the public may participate and comment via the application Zoom. Meeting information website https://zoom.us/join. Remote public comment is also available for the Planning Commission meeting by emailing ann.montgomery@ci.ceres.ca.us by 6 p.m. on the date of the meeting or via phone application Zoom. At this time, I will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all like to rise and join me. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Tom. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Del Nero,
Present.
Commissioner Johnson,
Present.
Commissioner Catchell,
Here.
and Chairperson Smith.
Here. Thank you. Are there any conflicts of interest to declare?
No.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to citizen communications to the commission on matters not included on the agenda. Each speaker will have 5 minutes. While the Planning Commission welcomes and encourages participation in the Planning Commission meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes. Resolution number 2012-132 for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the Planning Commission from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Planning Commission. Citizens are entitled to address the Planning Commission on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Public comments will now be accepted through Zoom. For those participating through the web, please raise your hand to request to speak using the hand icon located at the bottom right of your screen. If you are participating by phone, please press *9 on your phone. Names will be called in the order the requests are received, and your microphone will be unmuted when it's time for you to speak. Clerk, have we received any public comments through the email?
No, I have not received any this evening.
I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Is there anyone on Zoom that has raised their hand to speak?
I don't see any hands raised at this time.
All right, so, and we took care of the email comments, so seeing no citizen comments, we'll move on to the consent calendar. And I will request at this time that item 3A be removed from consent. Do I need a motion for that? Is Nubia on?
I am, Chair. I apologize. I'm sorry. To remove from the consent, you don't need a motion.
Okay, so I'd like to remove that item, and unless anyone has any other items they'd like to remove, I'll entertain a motion to approve the remaining consent items.
Also move.
And so just for the record, that's items 1, 2, 3A, and C. I have a motion to approve those items. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Go ahead, Johnson.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye. Thank
Motion
you.
passes 4-0.
Thank you. So I removed item 3B because it is, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I meant 3A. Now what do I do, Nubia?
let me unmute myself first. Let's go back and if we can have a motion to, let's see, if you
Okay.
removed,
I removed B, but I meant to remove A.
okay, let's have a motion for reconsideration on the consent calendar. And
Okay.
we'll start from scratch.
Okay, we're going to start over, folks. I'd like to have a motion to reconsider the consent calendar.
Make a motion to reconsider the calendar.
Okay, so I need a second for that motion, please.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye. And so
Motion
now,
passes 4-0.
thank you so much. So the item I'd like to remove is item 3A. So I would like then to entertain a motion to approve the consent item with the exception of item 3A.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Also,
Okay, it looks like we have 2 seconds.
whatever.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye, thank
Motion
you.
passes 4-0.
Thank you so much. All right. So thank you, Planning Commission, for your patience in that. I asked to remove item 3A, which is the Series Downtown Revitalization report. And as you saw on the last page of the agenda item, it contained the quarterly financial statement. And I'm sure you also noticed that the revenue, as predictable, is significantly behind. I started to do the math, but I think it's less than 20% where we're at right now at the end of the second quarter. So I know that the American Relief Rescue Act was just passed and does include relief to state and local governments. So I'd like to ask the city manager if this will be eligible for any relief funding, and if you can give us any information on that.
Yeah, so it does appear that it would be eligible for funding. So essentially, anywhere where we're impacted by revenue losses as it's related to COVID could be an eligible expense. So the CDRAB budget is included in that amount. We're anticipating that we probably won't receive funding for between 60 to 90 days. However, that'll be right around the time that we adopt our annual budget anyway. So it shouldn't impact the CDRAB budget at all.
Excellent. Does anybody have any other questions?
Bless you, Tom.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Any other commissioners have any questions on this item? Thank you, Tom, for the explanation. I appreciate it. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 3A.
I'll move approval of item 3A.
Thank you. I have a
And
motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. All right, we already addressed the item removed from consent, so we'll move on to public hearings. Item 4, conditional use permit 19-11, time extension, a proposal for a 2-year time extension request for a previously approved conditional use permit for the construction of a 7,922 square foot church building and maintaining an existing wedding event venue at 1743 Evans Road, Holy Apostolic Catholic Assyrian Church of the East is the applicant. James Dewey.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And just to clarify, the address is 1748 Evans Road. That was a typo. The 1743 is not the correct address. It's 1748 Evans.
You're right. That's
yeah.
important.
Thank you, Tom, for putting up the site plan. So just to give you some background, so for the past 20 years, the 1748 Evans Road site has been operating as like a wedding event type venue center. And the applicant has been working with the city since 2018 on possible options of relocating their church from 3900 Brickett Court to a different site here in Ceres due to Caltrans improving the Highway 99 roadway system with a new interchange product being incorporated at the Service and Mitchell roads. Currently, we're expecting that the project construction of that interchange could potentially begin as early as 2022 or 2023. With the city acquiring the Brickett Court property in 2018, the city has been allowing the applicant to continue to operate as a church at that site while the applicant had been working towards relocating the church. And so back in May of 2019, the church had been looking at the 1748 Evans Road site that you see here before you. And as they were working with staff informed them that they needed a conditional use permit if they wanted to try and build a new church building and maintain the existing wedding event venue. And so in July of 2019, they had the planning commission had considered the use permit for construction of a 7,992 square foot church building with the idea of also maintaining the wedding event venue. The commission considered the project and approved it by a 5-0 vote. Since that time, the applicant acquired the property. They completed the total purchase of the property in January of 2020. And so right now at this time, the applicant still continues to work on getting us the building plans for building permit submittal, but they do need some extra time to do that. And so what they've done is applied for a time extension. It would be a 2-year time extension, and it would allow them to proceed if the commission recommends approval and approves the consideration. And it would be good for another 2 years from tonight. And so staff has no objections with the applicant's request. Everything remains the same, but it's only the expiration date that's being of approval that's being extended. And so that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Michaels. Is there anyone on the commission that has any questions of staff? All right, seeing none, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this item? Do we see any hands raised, Tom or Ann?
Yes, I see Edmund Jacobs has his hand raised. I believe he's the applicant. I will unmute his mic.
Good evening, Mr. Jacobs.
Hello, good evening. I'm Edmund Jacobs, and I'm on behalf of the applicant. I'm the architect for this project. I'm just here tonight to answer any questions that you have that I need to answer.
All right, thank you so much. Let me see if there's anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak on that. And if there isn't, we'll see if the commission has any questions of you. Is there anyone else in the audience?
No, I don't see any hands raised at this time.
All right, does anyone on the planning commission have questions of Mr. Jacobs at this time?
I don't.
No? All right, thank you, Mr. Jacobs. There are no questions of the commission. And if there's no hands raised in the audience, I will close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for discussion or a motion.
This looks pretty straightforward as applications go, so I will go ahead and make a motion. One would make a determination, the 2-year time extension request for the project is exempt from environmental review as an infill development project, and 2, approve 19-11 CUP time extension subject to findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution PC 21-06.
Right, thank you. Mr. Catchell, do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second. Are we doing the same thing again? Whatever.
All right, I have a motion and a second from Mr. Johnson. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Jacobs. We look forward
you.
to seeing your project constructed in the next year, so
Thank you for support.
you're welcome. All right, we'll move on now. There is no new business, no public meetings, no unfinished business, and no matters initiated by planning commission or staff. That brings us to reports. Is there anyone on the commission that has anything they'd like to report this evening? Mr. Johnson, do you have anything to report?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Catchell?
Only that my wife's retiring after 40+ years with Stanislaus County, which is congratulations to her. She started with there when she was about 19.
Well, that,
And secondly, that means I have to find new insurance, which is, if you haven't gone through that process, this is loads of fun, I'll tell you. Trying to do all this with just a telephone and no computer isn't making it any easier because my eyes are having a heck of a time reading those little website typing that they've got in there. So anyway, I'm just been a little preoccupied with that. That's
Well,
all I've got.
congratulations to your wife and you as well. Now that hopefully things will improve and you can travel.
Yeah, or maybe even have a planning commission meeting in person.
Hey.
That would be,
Well, I imagine when we get to Mr. Westbrook, he'll have quite a few things to tell us. Mr. Del Nero, do you have anything to share this evening?
yeah, Saturday was my 39th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We celebrated, we had a good time. So that's a public service announcement and she can't hear me.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That's about it.
All right. I have nothing to report. We'll move on to the city attorney. Do you have anything to report?
I don't have anything to report this evening, Chair, but it's nice to see you all. And hopefully we'll be able to see each other in person. Who knows?
Yes, thank you. It's good to sort of see you too. We only see your name. All right, Tom, I'm going right to you.
I was gonna say I have nothing to report, but since you're putting me on the spot, I'll report something.
Well, I thought maybe you would be reporting about your work on reopening the chambers.
Yes, so we are going to have the city council meeting in person next Monday night, the 22nd of March. We're going to social distance, put staff tables around. We're going to see how that goes. The council has been in the chambers and we're running Zoom through there. If it goes off kind of without a hitch, then we will schedule the planning commission to do the same.
All right.
Glad to hear it.
Cool.
That's it.
Well, I look forward to that. And I unintentionally skipped past James and Daniel. Do either of you have anything to report this evening?
Not tonight, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Daniel?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Smith. I don't have anything either.
All right, well, thank you. And I would suggest you get your microphone checked because that was weird. All right,
Yeah, I
well,
don't know if, can you hear me?
not really. It's bad. Don't try it again.
My internet connection is not stable, but I have nothing.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much. All right, well, I'm glad to see you all again this evening. I look forward to seeing you in person, and seeing that there's nothing else on the agenda, I will adjourn to the next regularly scheduled planning commission meeting, which will be on Monday, April 5th.
All right.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Everyone.